If you've seen some of my previous videos, you'll know that I love using white pens on black paper, and I also love creating patterns. Now, it's really important to me when I'm using my white pens that I have a really deep black surface to work on, because I want that white to pop out. I want it to look really lovely and brilliant. And so I found the two best surfaces that I like to use are the Peter Pauper Artist Tiles, the 300 GSM smooth finish surface. They work really well with gel pens and paint and coloured pencils. And I also love to use the Clairefontaine, the paint on pad. Now this is a multi-surface and it's a 250 GSM. It's got a slight texture to the surface. I mainly use the A5 size, but I also use A4, and I really love the finish I get with these two surfaces. Next I'll look at my actual pens. Now I use the paint pens, the pigment ink pens, and I also use gel pens. Now they all have slightly different qualities, but I really like a pen that's going to give me a lovely opaque white line that I can use for colouring in, for shading. But sometimes I want a shadow effect, and I can also get that. So I'm just going to talk through the pens that I use, and I have shown you most of these pens before. Now first of all we have the Posca pen, the PC1MR. Now this creates a lovely opaque line. It's a paint pen. It's really nice. It's going to dry. It's going to be a surface that I can go over, I can cover again. The same with the Posca PC350, the brush pen. I absolutely love this brush pen for covering larger surfaces. You can see what a brilliant white you get with just one coat. And what I like with the paint pens is if you do make a mistake, you can cover it up again with another layer of the paint. Another pen that I like is the Signo Broad, which is this one here. Lovely thick line. This is a gel pen. It also comes in a finer line, which is the pastel or angelic colour. I'm not showing you these pens in huge detail because they have appeared in all my other videos. This is just like a little summary of the pens I use. I also use the jelly roll pens. So you've got the 05, the 08 and the 10. I don't use the 05 so much. I find the line, it looks quite faint. It is useful, but I do like the thicker lines that you can get. And then of course we have my Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Brush Pen. Now this is a pigment ink pen, and it's not quite as opaque, but you can layer it up once it's dry. It dries really quickly and you can get a good layer of white. Now until recently this was the only pigment pen that I used on my black paper, and when I went and replaced my last pen I found this new pen which I'm going to show you here. So this is a Zig pen. Not quite sure how you pronounce that, but it says pigment, so I thought, okay, this is a fairly reasonable price, I'm going to try this. And this is the result. So it is the lightest coverage of all the pens. You can see it's slightly paler than my Pitt Artist pen, but you can layer it up. And what I really like is it's got such a broad nib on it. Look at this. Really lovely. And I've been messing about and I found out I can create like a dot pattern, and I can have the pen at an angle and I have like a teardrop, and I thought, well, this is great fun. So I've been experimenting with it, and it's going to be used quite a lot in my patterns in the future. I've already created a few patterns with it, and this is just a little example. So I have done here one layer, one dot, then I've gone over again exactly over the previous line, 2 layers of the ink, and then 3 layers. So you can see you can create a deeper white or just a really pale shadow, like a shadow effect. And you can see here I've layered up 5 times, so you can go quite deep with this pen. Now I know you can get dot pens. I've never bought them. I just feel like I wouldn't use them a lot, but I think with this pen it's quite versatile because I can create patterns, I can do lines, and I just think what a fun little pen. So I really wanted to show you that so you could just see what I've been doing recently. And I think it's really lovely to change up. Instead of working black on white all the time, if you want to just increase your supplies, you don't want to spend too much money, just get a couple of white pens and some black paper. But I think it really is important to get a really good surface, and these two papers, they are the deepest black that I've found, and I really love working on them.